Perez Music. Okudo. You direct, you guide, you shepherd. Dude writes very interesting songs. Very. Somebody says thick lyrics.
No, this one is
Elective Gun. Yes, Elective Gun. Oh my God. Emling. Danger. Emling. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much. Felicity Ahafia is joining us. It's already raining. Felicity, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am better today than yesterday. What about you guys in the studio?
I'm worried that it is raining. Should I be worried indeed, or should I not?
Don't be worried that much because it's just going to be slight rain. After some time, it will stop.
And what are we to expect later in the day?
Yes, later in the day, by late afternoon, we expect it to become partly cloudy over the entire country. But then those of us over the north, there is a system that is coming from the extreme north of Nigeria into Niger. We expect it to move westward. So those of us in the upper east and upper west are still earmarked for thunderstorms and rains late afternoon into the evening. So we should watch out. For the coastal strip, in the evening, we expect the clouds to surface back with light rain or drizzle. Likewise, those of us in the Ashanti region, eastern part of Volta, and then the Bono East areas. The western north is also earmarked for slight rain this morning into the afternoon hours. Temperatures will still be mild across the 16 region. We expect it to range between 27 and 30 degrees Celsius. Today, too, the state of the sea is still dangerous, so we're expecting the fisher folks to be extra careful. If there need be, they just have to forsake today's fishing activities to save lives and properties. So for today, this is how we're expecting it to be. And tomorrow morning, before we bring you the updates, to mist and fog patches is expected over the southern sectors. And if it's going to be foggy, that means visibilities are going to be less than 1 kilometer, and in some cases it's going to be less than 100 meters. So if motorists will be using the road at dawn from Accra to Kumasi, Sunyani, Wenchi, Techimai, in the Volta region, Peki, Vli, in the western region, those of us that will be going to Magasim, Takradi, Aksim, Hafasanim, Takwa, if you will be going to Koforedua Ebri tomorrow early in the morning, you should watch out for mist and fog patches.
Felicity, always brilliant and excellent as every day. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you too.
Great. Morning, Kudogbe. William, how do you say kudo in direct? Kudo, a crying.
Tony Kudo, like a driver, director.
Yeah, director.
Leader.
So how do you say it in trio?
Touch bearer.
Yeah. Okudo. We'll be broadcasting live actually from the Labadi Beach Hotel, where the American and Ghana Chamber of Commerce meeting up. Yeah. And we will get you some more detail there. But in the meantime, it's Kanda Bongo Man. On 3FM 92.7. My name is Johnny Hughes. William Bright Simmons put something out there. He's vice president of Imani, and he says the Bank of Ghana has 10 independent directors. It seems some people, especially in the political opposition, are not happy that they are paid $8,000 a month. That is the equivalent of 86,000 Ghana cedis. Given the caliber of people needed at the helm of affairs at the Bank of Ghana or Central Bank, what would folks be comfortable with? And then he comes on to say one approach might be to compare with the cases in other similar economies. In Kenya, there are 6 independent directors with each earning 260,000 Kenyan currency. That's $2,000. In Nigeria, there are 7 earning 2.3 million naira. That's $3,000. But there are private boards paying way above that, and we are paying $8,000 a month, and they come and declare loss. And then they keep talking. What eggs me out is that they keep talking and telling you, oh man, this one is no news. It's painful.
Yes, they're doing the three business thought.
The dialogue, yeah.
It came out that governance is costing us more than it should. I mean, when you talk about leadership, just not in politics, but everywhere, governance is costing us too much. And I have always said that it's important that those people who put themselves up for leadership should sacrifice. Because Nkrumah and things were in jail for a long time.
Yes.
Tamaklo
was in jail. Kwame Pianim was in jail.
These are people who have sacrificed. And because of people like Pianim today, we don't have coup d'etats again because they made it very unattractive. They went to jail, they did what they had to do. So if you are sitting in the office of Bank of Ghana, knowing the economy, and you're taking, I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I'm just saying we should sacrifice. There's a difference between...
What do you have to show for what you are getting?
Yeah,
but that's the point. That's the question. If we're spending $8,000 on you every month, something must show.
Exactly.
Yes, something must show.
But
value for money.
People will argue that, well, they negotiated for it. Fine. But I'm saying, those who initiate those documents that, engender the negotiations, why do they put in so much when they know that the Bank of Ghana, as we are hearing, is not a profit-making entity? They said it's not a profit-making, but not a loss-making one too.
Right.
They should just be there and not...
So where from the loss?
So their assets must always balance their if you like, their debts. But as we speak, there's a huge imbalance of about 60 billion. And so you hear this and they won't resign.
They'll
take the money. And those are the things that hurts the people. And as I've been saying from the beginning of the week, if you look at 66 and 81, these are the 2 years, seminar years.
First coup and last coup.
Yes, milestones when it comes to the coups. The statements that the coup makers made, similar. Abusive and corruption, and then weak civilian governments and deteriorating economy. What is different 66, 81, 2003?
Nothing has changed.
Nothing. 81 to date is about 42 years.
Yesterday, I played a tape of the president, then candidate, on Johnny's Bite. And he says, school feeding is in arrears. Ask yourself why. Foreign partners are not supporting our budget. Ask yourself why. All the questions he asked, and he asked us to ask
them again.
He is in the chair. And nothing is happening.
And the foreign partners now, it's not that they are even not supporting us. They are questioning
how we are spending.
Even going on. Yes. And when they question them, you have the opportunity and you are speaking, you jibe them. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else we should do because we've done the coups. They are not helping.
As for the coup, I will not support it.
That's what I'm saying.
But the point is that.
So what else should be done?
So the president should listen to us.
Charlie, even between 1979 and when President Rawlings exited the military rule around 92, do you know the number of coup attempts we had in Ghana? Plenty. I saw. I always tell you.
Yes.
I was in class when Jiwa.
And the Air Force Base was a hotbed of cooking coups.
My classroom or the classroom blocks and the Air Force station was just divided by some barbed wire that served as a fence. So it is not like some opaque Trump kind of wall.
You can see through.
I say when Jiwa and Co came in the Prince Goa and they got down their chains. I remember there was one woman in the group, they were sitting on the street, we were seeing everything live. And when there's a coup attempt, see people's parents will come to the school, one gun here, the child here, moving. Those are if you go to Forces Primary, you see bullets in the walls. So it's not anything that we should be joking with. People have died. And then the same message that the coup makers made, the civilian politicians who also come and make, but at the end of the day, the system is the same. Today we are talking about Niger. Recently we spoke about Burkina, and then there was Mali, and then there's Guinea, and then what? If you look at all these West African countries, Niger, if it's not the poorest, among the poorest of the poor in the world. And until recently, we had Malians in Ghana begging. We had Nigerians begging in Ghana. So we are saying to the leaders that, look, the governance is costing us too much. Some people have been hiding behind that, saying that democracy is expensive. And, you know, instead of becoming leaders in politics, they become investors. They invest, and then when they come, they want to get dividend. Within 3 years, they want to, every money that they put, because people are selling their businesses and investing in political parties. Just because they know that in the next 4 years.
It's more lucrative.
You know. So instead of even investing in bonds and investing in businesses, they are investing in politics.
Because it's become more dangerous to invest in your bonds.
Exactly. So these are conversations that we should have. And yesterday we heard a lot from people who have been through the mill, and some of them are still working, you know, in private business.
Listen to President Akufo-Addo. He told us in 2021 that Ghana is a net exporter of food, including tomatoes and onions. Today, we are busy racking our heads over what could possibly happen if the unrest in Guinea, Niger, doesn't end. Where would we get onions from? Listen to the president.
It is a transformational step that we have taken, which should quicken the pace of development all round and give us confidence in our future. In 2017, it appeared to some like the same old refrain when we said farmers and agriculture would get the highest priority. But we can see the difference it makes when a government treats farmers with respect and spends resources and expertise on agriculture. We have seen the dramatic turnaround of our agricultural fortunes due to the progressive policies that have improved the living standards of farmers in the country. The excellently executed policy for planting for food and jobs has laid the foundation for the agricultural transformation of our country. We are able to say that our country is now a net exporter of food, and we no longer have to import basic foods like plantain and tomatoes. Mr. Speaker, Ghana rice is the preferred choice in an increasing number of our homes as the growing, processing, and packaging of rice become a more established and attractive industry.
And he mentioned to us that we can now say that we are a net exporter of food. Interestingly, William, you know, the same year that he mentioned these things, right, there were the tomato sellers around the Burkina border. You remember that?
Yeah.
Where they said they were being attacked and that they will refuse, they will stop importing the tomatoes if they are not protected. And the president sent the national security minister to go and give them protection. So he was contradicting himself with that order. And that directive.
You know,
are we really independent? Yesterday at the business forum all the three senior citizens who spoke said that, look, we are not there yet. We are not even on the road.
Master, is this not something that I'm saying on this show everything?
So why does the people in government, or why do the people in government think that we have taken the curve when we are not even on the road?
Because they are the people in government.
So they must tell us something.
Master, they are the merchants of hope. You know, if you keep playing the president's tape every morning, do you know what you do?
No.
You don't get anything new, Master. No, quite frankly, everything that you play, there will be an against on the ground.
But
everything that you play.
Who writes the speeches for the president?
I'm saying that everything that you play, you will find the opposite on the ground. Everything. So I think sometimes, like Lawyer Kwebu said,
the man has checked out.
Even Franklin Kudu repeated it during the week. He said, when you talk, he doesn't listen. Mr. Kwame Pianim, venerable. He said when he speaks, they don't listen.
So he calls the president.
They don't pick. Our own Dr. Dufo, he said he called them consciously. These are finance ministers who, not you and I who are just reading
economic
the
people. Before 30, Kwame Pianim was a permanent secretary. That's like a chief director.
Master, these are people who know the road. You know, they are economists. They know the road. They say they call the people, they won't listen. Because that's how they see politics. And that's why I'm saying some of these tips, when you play, it's like a broken record. You know what I was thinking driving here?
When we broke the news that per our sources, monies were found at Madame Cecilia Dapa's home, and it took so much time to count the monies. You saw how quickly the defenders of the regime came to say that what we were saying was wrong. Now the OSP in this new statement has come to say that, in fact, monies were recovered from the home. So where is the fake news?
That's what I'm saying, that they are in power. And for every organization, for every individual, every entity, they have image construction wings. So as soon as the image breaks down, they have to come and rehabilitate.
Must you force it?
No. I mean, you're a PR guru.
Yeah, but you should not force it.
They are not forcing it. They are just doing their work. What are you saying? I don't think they will employ or they will create a whole office for information, and that's when something happens, they won't act, they won't do their PR.
The point is that
some parties even have propaganda secretaries.
Yes, NDC used to have that. Now it's communication officer. But then it is not Kojo Ponkroma who is doing this, because ideally that's his job, but he's not doing it.
But I know they have agents. Every party, they would have agents who also do these PR things for them. They have some in the media. They have some in their offices. They have some everywhere. They have consultants. You know, even before they come into office, they employ serious international PRs to come and give them proper grooming. What to say, what not to say, the way you walk and all that. So it's part of the game. So it is for us to educate ourselves, be lettered enough to be discerning, you know, so that when we hear some of these things, we can rise above,
decipher,
rise above.
As for this one, no.
So that's when, if the individuals in the system are well lettered, educated, they have the fundamentals of life, food, clothing, and shelter, then when you speak, they can analyze properly and take a decision. But when they are hungry and blinded, it's
so how much was found in Cecilia Dapa's
account? Well, we can't be sure, because yesterday a lot of figures were. I told my team that, look, we are not going to go. So we say substantial, significant. You know, gargantuan.
Yes,
mammoth amounts of money, because this is law. We don't want to go and say. But if you put all together, you know, rough estimates, it's about 100 million cedis allegedly. You know, 100 million, and this can clear a lot of schools from under trees. You know what I'm saying? So
school feeding caterers are crying. Baller people are.
That's what I'm telling you, that if you want to list those things, every morning you won't have anything new. Because what else I go?
So is that one also funeral donation or what? Or that one to belong to the brother? Money in the bag, in the box, with the padlock in front.
I advise you that chillax, because they will investigate. And the first part has been investigated. Now she has been forced to claim. So
that the money is hers.
Yes, because if you get to court and they are doing the cross-examination, the human beings that we are, we are wired to tell the truth. Naturally, we are wired. So when you are put to the test, the natural instinct in you, the wire will break somewhere, then you come in. Master, you can't lie like that.
You can't lie forever.
No. If you watch a lot of this law series and criminal stories, you see the human beings, that's how we are. And communication is not just verbal, it's also
para language.
If you are lying to, they will see. Your body language will show that. Then the lawyer will say that no, where we are going, they will hit you hard. You accept. So even if you are not going to lie, you need to justify with evidence how you got this money. Are you a business person? Besides the the ministerial job that you do, show us the sources of this income. And someone have argued that what is $1 million? What is that? If the person is a private person and has $1 million in his,
but you're a public official.
We don't have a problem. But there are rules around public officers, and because of the fact that they are so close to the public purse, it came up that there was some $43 million that was allocated to the ministry for some work around the Odo. So if we hear that this money is in your space, we should be worried about how much you keep in your space, especially when the dollar is hitting us so hard, we are not able to control it, and you are keeping so much in your room. How can the cedi be strong enough to do anything for the country? Because if the cedi is chasing fewer dollars, it becomes weak. You understand? So at the end of the day, some of these conversations, and I always want to keep the conversation also around the presidential staffer who also had $140,000. We're not saying that if they are working genuinely, they don't have they can't have that kind of money, they can't keep it. But I say
must
that,
you keep it at home?
This is a government that is in crisis in respect of the foreign exchange imbalances, interest rates, the macroeconomic environment is so weak. So we are all telling ourselves that look, let the banks work. Even the banks that were not working, we collapse them. So if you have so much dollars in the system and we're able to let them circulate in the system, then the city can also have some respite.
Let the poor breathe.
Yes.
Listen to President Akufo-Addo.
Fiscal indiscipline has been the bane of economic management in the country. To address this, the IMF recently insisted on the passage of a Public Financial Management Act. However, the law as enacted is woefully inadequate because it lacks the key elements that will protect the public purse from abuse. Fiscal policy implementation as it stands now lacks three basic elements: the absence of a transparent institutional arrangement for providing quality fiscal information to the public, the absence of a mechanism for ensuring accountability in implementing optimal fiscal policies to guarantee the stability of the system, and the absence of an institution to ensure the credibility of fiscal projections provided by the government. To address the problem of the current high public debt levels and the country's high risk of debt distress, our government will adopt and implement rules to anchor fiscal policy implementation. For example, there will be specific targets for the reduction of government borrowing and debt. We intend to enact a fiscal responsibility law to bring comprehensiveness, accountability, transparency, and stability to the entire budgetary process. Under this law, a fiscal council will be established to set up medium-term fiscal policy and monitor compliance.
President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo there, and this one to somebody will ask, Akosi Seng. I don't know.
Shall protect the public purse. I shall protect the public purse. I shall protect the public purse. I shall protect the public purse.
Well, these voices have become relevant this morning because of the issue of the public purse.
Yes.
Because of the Bank of Ghana's purse.
Yes.
Because of Madame Dapa's issue. Because of the presidential staffer. Her name keeps slipping.
But how?
That money, so all these Ghanaians are asking, Mr. President, have you been able to
Protect the public
even
purse.
close it before you protect it? Yeah, it's been open.
What has been left of the purse is in tatters. The purse is in tatters. The purse.
Hey,
State coffers are not spoiled for the party that wins an election, but resources for the country's social and economic development. I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money in all transactions. Public service is just that, service and not an avenue for making money. Money is to be made in the private sector, not the public, and measures will be put in place to ensure this. We must create wealth and restore happiness to our nation. We can only do this when we have an educated and skilled population that is capable of competing in the global economy. We must expand our horizons and embrace science and technology as critical tools for our development. We believe that the business of government is to govern. Ours is to set fair rules. We will provide vision and direction and shine the light down the path of our entrepreneurs and farmers.